Alright. So we're going to try to clear up what a decibel is. You will hear this word a lot in electronics, guitar amps, and everything else. A decibel is a unit of comparative sound measurement. The original unit was a bell. If you remember from high school science, deci means 1/10 of something. So when you hear a decibel, it's just a tenth of this thing called a bell. It's a comparative sound unit. And basically, there's some kind of advanced math behind how it works, but basically here's what you need to know. 6 decibels equals twice as loud. I should say, adding 6 decibels. So if you went from 90 to 96, it would seem twice as loud. Now actually the waveform itself, like if it was a speaker, you could literally measure how far the speaker was moving with a louder volume. To move from 90 to 96, it would actually be quadrupling in its power. But your perception of it would be that it's only twice as loud, because the human ear has such a huge range that it can work with. It can work with the quietest sounds of rubbing my finger, or the loud sound of a clap, or the louder sound of a jet plane, or a rock concert, or whatever. So that's why we use this scale that sort of takes these huge differences and shrinks them down to more workable, thinkable numbers. As you know, your car stereo, or like if you had a stereo with a 1 to a 10 on the volume, this might be a 3, this might be a 4, and this might be the 5. And it would just seem like it got a little bit louder as it went. That would make a lot more sense than having it numbered. What is this? If that was a 1, and that was a 4, and this was having 0.25, 1, and 4 on the dial. I mean, it'd be strange to have a dial that said 0.25, 1, 4, 16, 64, and went up, and with these numbers getting super huge, that got all the way to 10,000 by the time you got around there. So, on a consumer radio, it's just going to have numbers like 3, 4, and 5. To have some actual numbers that mean something, but that aren't weird and jump from 0.25 to 64,000, we use these decibels, which sort of take that scale and shrink it. So, if you take a signal, if I take this original black one and I boosted it 6 decibels, that would go to there, and you would call that a gain. You'd call that a gain of 6 decibels. If I boosted it from 84 to 96, that would be a boost of 12 decibels. If you look on graphic equalizers, you don't see lots of people with these things, actual, component things in their stereos anymore like you did in the 80s and 70s and 60s. But on a computer, you can pull up a graphic equalizer all day long, and on mixers for a PA and stuff like that, you still see them all the time. And it's got all these little sliders that you can slide up and down. And over to the side of this, you'll often see little charts that says plus 12 dB, minus 12 dB. So at that frequency, whatever that frequency is, if it's 20 vibrations per second or whether it's 10,000 vibrations per second, you can take frequencies in that area and either boost them up to 12 dB, which feels like you've quadrupled the volume of that frequency, or you can take it way down, cut it way down. So you'll see this unit, and I just wanted to give you some clarity on what a decibel is. Yeah, we'll just end off there on decibel.